Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Minister of the Covenant, breaker of the seven seals. Sisters and brothers, this is a presentation on pressure. You need to understand how pressure works. I'm trying to put it in the simplest terms as possible here. Some examples. First of all, we need to understand Scripture. Scriptures are pressure. Words are pressure. Pressure waves. It affects the heart and affects the mind. So the scientists, they take and they put together atom bombs every 25,000 years because that's what scriptures are. They're explosive devices, high pressure devices, pressure greater than the pressure of the people around it or the times. So if the people think one way, right, these pressure bombs go to a higher level. So that's why you have the believers and the disbelievers. The disbelievers resist and they're blown away. The believers accept and they grow. They move on in due time. But they're atom bombs, explosive devices that causes change. That's what explosive devices do. They cause change. And that's what scriptures are. So they put together these explosive devices to bring about the change that they expect to happen, and they give it to the particular person that's capable of unleashing, of igniting that bomb to bring about that change. You understand that? The explosive devices that the scientists put together every 25,000 years, and they distribute them according to the different situations as time moves. So you can't go back and say, oh, the Quran is the only book forever. That's stupid. That's just damn right stupid. Right? Because these people, they keep changing because time changes, because we're moving through time. We're taking and reformatting. We're giving form to energy. That's what time is. What's happening here is that you take, for instance, Prophet Muhammad. See, that bomb was calibrated for a certain situation. It was not calibrated to destroy Adam. It was calibrated to confine Adam. So it just had enough explosive power to confine him for 1,000 years. And that's it. Then the power was spent. There's no more power anymore. The Quran has no more power anymore. The power has been spent. Its purpose was to confine Adam for 1,000 years. The purpose of the Jesus giving them the sealed Bible, right, was to blow away the Roman Empire. Prepare the way for Adam, this Adam we're living with right now. That's what these devices do. But when we read Daniel, we find out that the angel is the ultimate explosive device because it's calibrated to destroy everything. Muhammad's atom bomb, the Quran, was calibrated for Arabia, that area of the world. But this one is calibrated to destroy everything. That's what it says. It will destroy all nations, all people. That's how powerful the angel is. That's why it was sealed with 7 seals. The Quran was not sealed like that. It was sealed with 7 seals because it's so powerful. So we're going to look into that as we move forward. So let's look at some of the examples here. Now you take this for instance. Now what you see here is, you see 25 black boxes. Now we're going to say that each one of those boxes, right, is 10 square inches of pressure. 10 square inches of pressure. 10 square inches of pressure. Okay, each one represents that. Okay? So you see the red one there? Each one of those represents 10 square inches of pressure. So on the bottom one, you have 25, you have 5 by 5, and the top one, you have 3 by 3. So you have no pressure differential because everything has 10 square inches of pressure. There's no pressure differential. There's no high pressure, no low pressure, it's just normal pressure. So what happens here? Now what we're going to do is we're going to take all 9 of the red ones and put them into one box. One box. So now that one box, that 1 square inch, remember each one of these square inches represents 10 inches of pressure. But now this 1 square inch, right, represents 9 times that. Because it was 9, so 9 times 10 is 90. So that's 90 square inches of pressure in that one box there. Because you put all of them in that one box. So you have 90 square inches of pressure in that one box. That's high pressure. Because the other boxes still have 10 inches of, 1 inch of, excuse me, each one of those have 1 inch, 1 square inch of 10 pounds of pressure. That's that right? Okay, I said initially I said each box has 10 pounds of pressure. Each box has 10, each square inch has a 10 pounds of pressure. Each square inch has 10 pounds of pressure. Each square inch has 10 pounds of pressure. Okay? But in the case of the red one, right, you got 1 square inch, but you got 9 times that. So you got 90 square inches. 1 square inch has 90 pounds of pressure. Hope I'm saying that right. Let me say it again. In the black ones, you have each square inch has 10 pounds of pressure. Each square inch has 10 pounds of pressure. But in the case of the red ones, right, you have 1 square inch, right, but it has 90 pounds of pressure. Because it's 9 times as much, because you put all 9 into one box. There's 90 pounds of pressure in that 1 square inch. So now you have high pressure. Now you have high pressure. So what do you do with that? So you put that in the middle of low pressure, and now you have 1 square inch, the red one, is 90 pounds of pressure in that 1 square inch. 90 pounds of pressure in that 1 square inch. But the other ones, they still have 10 pounds of pressure. Each square inch has 10 pounds of pressure. So you have high pressure against low pressure. Because you put all the ones together in that red one. So now you have 90 pounds of pressure in that 1 inch, square inch. But the other ones, they just have 10 pounds of pressure. So now you got an explosion. That's what explosion is. When high pressure moves low pressure away. Let's see what happens. Boom. See, it moved all of that away. It spread out back to 9 again. See, all the ones that was all into 1, and it spread out to 9 again. So it moved everything away, so it spread out to 9. So now each one of those equals 10 pounds of pressure like it was initially. So everything equals 10 pounds of pressure. So there's no pressure differential anymore. No more explosion. It's over. Everything is normal. But it displaced, it moved all the black ones out of the way, moved them back. It moved them back further away because it took up more space in the center. Because it was only taking up 1 square inch, now it's taking up 9 square inches in the center. So now everything is normal because it's spread out. It keep on spreading out. Now, if you put 1,000,000 of them in there, then it'd be 1,000,000 square inches They keep on spreading out until each one of them equals just 1/10 pounds of pressure again. Understand? It depends on how many you put in that 1 square inch. We're giving you an example. We only put 9. You put 1,000,000 in them, you got a big explosion. Put 1,000,000,000, you got an even bigger explosion. See? Because it's going to spread out until every one is equal to 10 pounds of pressure again, each square inch. You understand that, brothers and sisters? That's the way pressure works. And here's another example. Thermonuclear explosions. Now, how does that work? What they do is we're talking about the fission bomb. What they do is they ignite it, and so it explodes, and it's hotter than the sun at one point. Like at one point, right? No bigger than a penny. There's 1,000,000 degrees. That's how hot it is. It's 1,000,000 degrees in that little spot. 1,000,000. I'm just giving an example. These are not actual numbers. That little spot is 1,000,000 degrees. See? Everybody all around it, right? It's normal temperature, 75-degree day. It's 75-degree day, but right in that center is 1,000,000 degrees. What happens? So then it starts spreading out. So it spread out, say it spread out a mile. So after a mile, right, it's not 1,000,000 degrees anymore, it's cooled down. It's like 500,000 degrees. It's half what it was, right? Because it's moved out, it's cooled down now, but it's still very hot. 500,000 degrees. Still very hot. It's moved out a mile. So it's cooled down now, but it's moved out a mile. And everything within that mile is burned up because it heated everything up to 500,000 degrees. Okay? But then it goes out another mile. Now it's cooled down to 1,000 degrees. Now it's cooled down to 1,000 degrees. See? So it's 2 miles out, but now it's cooled down to 1,000 degrees. The temperature all around is still 75. Right? But it's come down to 1,000. That means from the time it exploded, when it was 1,000,000 degrees, up until the time now it's 1,000 degrees, it's heated up everything. So everything's got burned up. Everything got burned up because 1,000 degrees, that's still burning to burn you up. It's still burning up stuff, not as much as it was beginning, because it's cooled down some. But 1,000 degrees is still very hot. And then, right? And then it goes further. It cools down to another mile, so now maybe 5 miles out, and it's down to 100 degrees. Now it's cooled down to normal temperature, right? Because maybe the temperature is 75 degrees, right? So it's 100 degrees, you can withstand that. But from the time it started until that's an explosion now. It burned up everything. But now it's cooling down, and that's the way nuclear bombs work. That's why they have different levels. Depends on how powerful you want the bomb to be. The initial heat. See? Because it's going to spread out, it's going to cool down, but still no, if it cooled down to 500 degrees, that still will burn you up. See? They call it tactical nuclear weapons. So they determine, how much destructive power it's going to have. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I think that's pretty much So I'm not going to go into I'm pretty much leave it there. I wanted to give you a simple understanding of how pressure works. And that's why you see in Daniel, it said that those stones, that's pressure. When it falls on other nations, it's putting pressure on them. But it's putting so much pressure on them that's destroying everything. So the atom bomb in you is calibrated to destroy everything. That's how hot it is. All 8 billion is calibrated to destroy everything. It's already been ignited. Do you understand, brothers and sisters? It's calibrated on to burn up everything, destroy everything. See? So that scientists know that. That's how they calibrate it. So they calibrated to do that. The Quran was only calibrated, right, to lock up KB for 1,000 years. Then there's no more. Once the angel completes his task and blows away all the nations, it will be spent. It will be useless. It will be no more. Then they come up with another book for another change as we move on into the future. But the angel is going to clean up this whole world. It's going to clean it up. It's going to burn up everything. It's going to burn up everything that's out of order, that offends, like it says. Suleiman would send his angels, and they would gather together everything that offends. So it's going to clean up. It's going to burn up everything, all impurities, everything. That's what the angel is. That's why I tell you in Daniel, that little stone, when it falls, that pressure, puts so much pressure, that destroys everything. It's a very powerful atom bomb device. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters, and they cannot do anything to stop it. It's already been ignited. And it's going to blow away everything. Do you understand, brothers and sisters? That's the basic idea of how pressure works. Okay? Atom bombs. That's what scriptures are. The sealed Bible, it was atomic bombs. Atom bomb. The sealed Bible tore all up. They're not just paper. They're bombs that the scientists put together every 25,000 years. The atomic devices, explosive devices that will change reality. Change reality. That's why Lester said that Suleiman was in the center of the earth, experimenting with high explosive. That's the angel. And it's going to blow away everything. It's in the process of doing it now. It's going to blow away everything. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Salam alaikum.